Okay. Thanks,
Good
guys.
night, Mark. Good night, Adam.
Bye.
Bye, Adam.
All right. Where do I start? Stefan, you've joined. You're the youngest in terms of joining us as a conversation. Tell us a little about you. Tell us about your background, and I'm super excited that you decided, even though we're a little through the program, to still join us and be with us. You joined exactly halfway through, so I'm curious to get to know you better.
Yes, my background is I'm a software developer, and I'm interested in the startup ecosystems, and maybe there is an opportunity for me to invest in some startups, something like that. And I'm always keen to learn something new, get new impulses, and I was happy when Martin pointed me to this opportunity to learn something new, and that's what I want to do. I want to learn something.
Good to have you. And you can also revisit so even if you didn't join them, all the recordings are on YouTube, so you can go there and watch recordings. So
okay, thank you.
Page with everyone. Good. Dieter, how is that for you? I guess the beta conversation was one of the reasons that you signed up.
Well, beta came by accident, I would say, because I figured it out after I told you that I'm gonna join. Well, I think it's an amazing journey, Nikki, and thanks a lot for putting that together. It is, I think you over-delivered so far, and I guess it keeps going. And I'm not saying that because the beta session was so much into what I'm doing and what I'm working in, where I think I can take the organization I work for into the next era. But it's so opening up my mind, from the first minute with this Silicon Valley mindset, with the business modeling. It's a really great journey, and I'm very happy that I joined it. I'm a little bit sad that I might not make tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, because my wife has some appointments, some online appointments at university. So it's going to be difficult for me with 2 kids, but I'm really looking forward to, if I cannot join, I'm really looking forward to watching the videos. And I'm asking myself, what's next? So I think it's not my last virtual tour, and yeah, and one day I'm going to be there in the Bay Area.
Yes, also, I mean, one is that virtual experiences are a fraction of the potential of meeting in real, of course. But this is as good as it gets, and that's what we have. And I think it worked well so far. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming conversations. Of course, being there in person also makes another difference. Still, in person or virtually, that's the big question. Is like, what's next? How can I convert these insights into my organization? And I think that we have this. We look into events. An event has a before, during, and an after, right? And I think I mentioned that on the kickoff presentation on Monday. And very often we look in the before and the during, or in the during and the after. But we have to look into all of the three. And when you are part of this, it's really crucial for you to make sure what do you actually want to take out of it. That's why I'm constantly challenging you, right? We have 2 days to go. You can revisit all the conversations. We might meet again. I'm doing this tours every 3 weeks, I've decided, but it's never the same program. So there is a tour mid-May with a different program. And then the week after, I'm going to do the first global virtual tour, where we have Monday, New York, Tuesday in London, Wednesday in Tel Aviv, Thursday in Mumbai, and Friday in Hong Kong. which gives it also a nice global perspective, like looking around the globe and how do the people in different locations look into the questions that most of us share. Life is a lot less complicated. The world is a lot less complicated than we think it is. But it's also important to kind of make sure for yourself, like, what do I want to take out of it? Is it methodology? Is it mindset? How can I convert this? How can I bring this to the people? I always talk about the 48 hours rule, and it's a very unpleasant rule. So everything that you've shared might be exciting and interesting. The 48 hours rule is actually very unpleasant because it just tells you that you have 48 hours of time after an impact to implement something into your life. And if you don't do this within 48 hours, it will disappear, and it will be as if that didn't happen in your life. So the first 48 hours are really crucial. And that doesn't mean that you have to change your company in 48 hours, but it means that you have to pick out things that you want to keep that conversation alive, that you want to dig deeper, that you want to understand better, that you want to understand how to convert this into your life. And maybe really implement things. One of the best ways to extending the 48 hours is to share it with someone. I mean, this saying, I'm constantly repeating myself, but there's a reason for the saying: if you want to understand something, teach it. And you can't invite your friends over because we're all kind of separated by screens. But you find your peers and share what you've heard, because that makes it so much more understandable for you to actually determine what are the specific fields and information and insights where you're like, I don't want to let that go. I want to implement that. So even if you can't make it tomorrow and then Friday, it's good to revisit the screen. I'm always trying to make it available next day. So you will, at latest on Saturday morning, you will have all the recordings and the weekend to look into this. And also, I mean, I'm really offering this to you guys. If you want to follow up session, let me know. I think my job is not done if you go home after this and don't know what to do with all the information. I'm really happy to follow up with you and talk about the conversation, talk about what that means for you, and how this program, this time investment, this financial investment, this attention span investment, as we learned yesterday, is very scarce, is valuable for you and worthwhile. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. Yanis, how are you?
I'm fine. A little bit tired, I have to admit. It has been a really intense, exhausting day. And so I felt my attention span fading away during the last session, maybe because I really appreciated Dieter more or less taking over and asking questions. And I mean, of course, it's your relevant field. I was rather still stuck with questions or input from the previous session. And so at one point I needed to pull myself together and say, like, hey, there's every session you can take some unique ideas out of it. And afterwards it's time to revisit another session. And so I'm definitely going to follow up with Michael later on. And I'm going to message him. But so thank you very much. I really appreciate what you've put together. I admire that this is kind of an intimate video format where everyone, I think, feels safe to ask questions, and where you have a really unique talent to steer the conversation maybe to a certain extent, but also give freedom to everyone to take over at a given point. And so, as I said, when it came down to the social agenda and expectations, for me, it's inspiring to kind of observe this setup and what you're putting together. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Frederick.
Yeah, like it's very interesting. I feel it like when you open a very interesting book, then you find something interesting and you find a way to apply it to your everyday organization or work or life or whatever. And I really feel like this is getting a lot of inputs that I haven't considered before, like the other days with online security and data, to now like, oh, the whole experience of actually shopping. I think like most of the topics can be applied to development, product development of physical stuff. and has to be taken into considerations in various degrees along that process. And I find that highly valuable in my later working life, all of this. And I will write a lot of notes for me later to use and to think about it the next couple of days, maybe have some more questions to the relevant guys we have been talking to and hitting up with that. So I definitely see a valuable information all along, like all through the 6 meetings until now have been valuable.
Nice. Thank you. Anders, how about you?
Yeah, so much like Frederick said, I also think that these talks and session has been really inspiring, and I can see that every one of the talks can be applied to what I'm doing right now in one way or another. So it's quite interesting to see how they, in some way, all of them are intertwined. Like we have the security yesterday, and now we're talking about monitoring customers and how that align, but also about how we're going to create like an event and how Beta 8 is creating like a community in terms of their stores and how they want to present their products. And so it's quite interesting for me to see that a lot of these talks are intertwined in some way or another.
Nice.
Can be applied in different ways.
Nice, thank you. Martin, you've just joined today. How did you feel about the 2 sessions?
Yeah, it was very interesting, also from the side of innovation. But for me, it would be helpful if at the start of each session, you have a small, maybe 5-10 minutes overview and the background of the people. Because in the first guy, it was easy because he talked a lot about it and his background. But in the Beta Shop, for me, it was first of all difficult to understand from which perspective the people are talking and what about they are talking, because I didn't have the concept before, so I didn't know what was actually the specialty what they have. Is I saw it only done later on, but it would be nice to have first a small overview.
Yeah, we got the 30 minutes before we start with the 2 meetings, where actually it's all about what happened yesterday, what's going to happen today, and introduce you for who we're going to meet and why we're going to meet that person. Kind of went somewhere else this time. We have this tomorrow and Friday as well, where you can sign up here 30 minutes before. I'm going to be there, and also kind of wrap up 24 hours later or a few hours later of what happened yesterday, and I'm going to give you a bit of a download of what's going to happen the same day. Makes totally sense. In the real tour, in the on-site tour, we have the car ride, right? I shared that yesterday. I'm renting a van when I have 15 people. Usually I never take more than 10, but I had groups with 15 people, so I have a 15-seater, and I'm driving it. And then we have the commute time for conversation and getting to know each other and the behind the scenes, but also talking about who we're going to meet and why. So that's definitely an important part of the program. Thank you for that.
But I have a question on Dieter. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Do you think it is possible to make in Intersport a small innovation corner and do similar things what they are doing for the sport area?
Well, I think in these days where shops are closed down from one day to the other, we have to think about everything. And of course, there can be kind of innovation hubs in the shops. I think everything is open now. Of course, we have our core business, but yeah, the times are new now. So if you have any idea, just let me know.
And I know something, for example, for skiing. They have a weekend on some mountain, and you can test each ski. But I don't know how to test it in the shop. So,
well, the 180 shops are all in the mountains. So the mountains are there, and we have 100,000 pairs of skis there. So.
But actually, I don't know. I think 3 weeks ago, there was in the 2 minutes and 2 million show, there was a similar idea called Tastery. and they do it with food.
Okay.
I think
have to watch-
it's an Austrian startup, I think.
I have to look that up.
And so you can go there and test, and the company are paying for it for the product placement actually. Ne?
Okay.
Nice.
I think it's called Tastery. I think it's the name was Tastery actually.
So is it what is abo in English?
Subscription.
A
Subscription.
It's very funny to speak to an Austrian in English.
Yeah.
Is it a subscription model where they put into a package that you get shipped every
So
month or so?
so far I understood this is a shop, and
Yeah.
you can go there, and for different products you have a table or shelter or something like
Okay.
this, and you can taste and give your feedback and so on. As a similar what they have, but only
Okay.
for food and
Okay.
drinks and such things. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to look that up.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Guys,
I have no idea how to do it in sport products, because I don't know what you can test there then or taste there.
guys, we're about to wrap up. I also have another call in 5 minutes. I'm also doing the wrap up and the debrief with the people we visit, because for them it's also important to have that information back, how that was relevant and important and purposeful and worked for them. I hope you're all gonna make it, or as much as possible. We'll see it for you, Dieter. Everything is okay, of course. The smaller the group, the more beneficiary for the remainders. The bigger the group, the more it gets a feeling of body. I'm happy with both. It's going to be 4 amazing conversations ahead of us. We're all sharing more or less the same time zone, so enjoy your evenings. And I'm looking forward to see you guys tomorrow in this channel again.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nikki.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.